Hey everybody, great to see you today. I'm hanging out in my front yard a little bit with my new flowers that I've been putting in and hanging baskets that I put up. It's very exciting. You know, I grew up in a time when I was taught that to do these beautiful things for yourself, to take pride in your home, to take pride in how you look, to take pride in anything was last on the list. It was total survival. It was how do I survive until the next day? And it's so fantastic to be in a place where I can think about, where I've got the brain energy and the space to think about all the things that can make my life even better and more beautiful. You know, including planting pansies and having ferns that come up every year. You know, taking a proactive approach instead of an approach of, you know what, I don't know, I can't care, I have to detach, you know, just to survive, which I know a lot of you have been. You know, when you start doing things that make you feel good, it grows and it builds. It's pretty awesome. So if you don't know who I am, I'm Rita Hickman, body-mind expert, shiatsu massage therapist, and I help women who are in toxic or narcissistic relationships become whole again, find themselves, get the energy that they need, get the focus and the clarity, and take care of their body. So I love to come from a body-mind approach. It's based on Asian medicine. And it's the cleanest, most thorough, most linear, rational, spiritual process that I've ever found, even more than indigenous Native American spirituality, because although it's the same information, a lot of indigenous medicines are kind of cloaked in metaphors and rituals, and there's still a lot of emotion around it. Asian medicine, they've been studying it for thousands of years, and there isn't a lot of that drama around it, which is super cool. Now, one of the things that people who have been involved with Asian medicine is meditation. Now, they've discovered within the last few years, do you remember all of those research projects where they took the monks from the Tibetan monasteries and studied their brains? Well, one of the things that they've discovered is that we don't just have 4 brainwave states, which is what we were all taught, you know, the conscious, the semi-conscious, the dream, and then the deep sleep, no dreaming state. That's what we were all originally taught. But through bringing these, you know, monks from Tibet and studying their brainwaves, they found at least 8 different brainwave states, which go both above and below, you know, the normal states that we thought. You can end up in like suspended animation. You can get your brainwave state down so low that you can't even detect a heartbeat, or you can get it even higher, you know, 3 or 4 steps higher, where you really do some self-regulation, where you can physically stand outside in 20 below weather and melt the snow around you. All of those miracles you've heard about are actually really possible through different brainwave states. Boy, it's a loud morning this morning. Everybody's decided to go past my house. So one of the brainwave states that they've been studying is the gamma brainwave state. And the gamma brainwave state is a perfect state for love and intuition and healing. It's a wonderful state to be in. So how do you get into a gamma brainwave state? Well, you can go the traditional route and spend decades trying to learn how to meditate and stretch your brain to go into these different brainwave states, which can be time-consuming. And a lot of people aren't really good at meditation. And we don't really have the time to sit there for an hour, hour and a half a day, 2 days, 3 years, you know, getting ourselves into these different brainwave states. But there's a really cool trick about the body. It's called entrainment. Do you remember those studies about the women who live in the dorm and all their cycles end up syncing up? Or the clocks that are all in a room, you know, the clocks with that are manual, and they all end up ticking at the same time? That's entrainment, because sound and movement and brain waves, they're all a wave. And what happens is everything around that wave starts to mimic it, starts to entrain to it. So one of the brain waves you can use is gamma. And gamma, one of the easiest ways I know to get into a gamma brainwave state is to listen to gamma brainwave music. You can find it on YouTube. Just type in gamma brainwave and you will find 30, 60, 90, 3-hour sequences where you can just lay there and listen to it. So what does this have to do with love and compassion? What does the brain have to do with love and compassion? Interestingly enough, as you well know, everything in the body is connected. Your brain is not disconnected from everything else. Your heart isn't disconnected from everything else. We're this giant web of synchronicity and everything working together and pulsing together and moving together. We're part of a big giant wave in the world, so there's no separation. So when you go into the gamma brainwave state, the feelings in your heart of compassion, love, gratitude, care, those are the things that start to come up. Now, when I use gamma brainwave states, what happens is I don't feel big, overwhelming senses of love. But what happens is no matter how angry I am, no matter how frustrated or conflicted I am, listening to gamma brainwave stuff starts to bring words into my head like, you know what, I love you. Things are great. Well, not great, but you know what I mean. Things like, it's okay, and thank you, and I'm so grateful for. These are the words and things that start to come to the surface of your mind because of the gamma brainwave state. So you don't have to learn how to meditate, and turn it into some gigantic practice. You can meditate by listening to things that get you into these different brainwave states. And gamma's one of my favorites. Theta's one of my favorites too. So it's between 44 and 100 hertz, and it gets your brain working at a level, pulsing at a level throughout your whole brain, and it bounces back and forth, this wave, and it bounces throughout your body, and it's like bringing yourself into harmony. So it can be very, very tough to do it on your own, and that's why I love to listen to things. You can also watch things that put you into a gamma brainwave state. I wonder if they have YouTube videos on that. I haven't checked it out yet. But sound, definitely. Sound and vibration, definitely. So I invite you to give it a shot. I invite you when you're feeling aggravated or irritated or frustrated to take 15 and 20 minutes and find a gamma brainwave YouTube video and listen to it and let yourself be with it. You don't have to try hard. You just have to listen to it, and you'll start to notice changes and differences. It's the easiest way I know to flip the switch. One of the beautiful things about having toxic people in your life or having narcissists in your life is that they are master healers. And what they do, how they heal is because they can tell exactly where your conflicts are inside of you. And they will push that button and exploit it and bring it up to the surface so that you have to process through. These gamma brainwaves are how you process through the feelings that come up, how you take them out of your subconscious or unconscious or nervous system, bring them to your conscious mind so that you can release them, so that you can clear the energy around them. So, if you happen to have a narcissist in your life and they're making you nuts, if you haven't gotten rid of them or they're a family member, every time something comes up, every time you get triggered, I want you to look at it as an opportunity to process through it, as an opportunity to change your experience around it, to change your memory, change your thoughts, change your reaction to it. Because narcissists are not going to change. What's going to happen is you're going to change. You're going to interact differently with the narcissist, and you'll no longer be the sort of person that they can control or manipulate or even exploit, because you won't have all of those conflicts. You won't have all of those inner conflicts that they can push all those buttons. So it's one of the cool side effects, if you can stay objective, when you get angry or frustrated or irritated, and use it as an opportunity to heal. On the other side, you're going to be in a better place. You're going to be more balanced, you're going to be more comfortable, and you won't be as reactionary to stuff, which is great because it's hard when your body hijacks you, by anger or frustration or aggravation. It's not in your best interest. It is not beneficial to you to sit in anger for a long period of time. It's very destructive. And so instead, when you get that frustration, when you get aggravated, even the smallest amount, I want you to find a gamma wave YouTube video. I want you to spend 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and let your brain entrain to the love, the gratitude, the compassion brainwave state, because it'll trigger your heart, It'll trigger your thoughts. It'll change things. And you'll be able to take the stuff that always made you nuts, that the narcissist is able to use to keep controlling you, and you'll be able to process through it so it doesn't bother you anymore. And then you're able to deal with the narcissist in a rational, balanced way, which, of course, only makes everybody's life better. When you don't get triggered, when you don't get reacted, you're able to actually make good decisions for yourself and good decisions for your relationships. Okay, here's your homework assignment today. I want you to find a gamma brainwave YouTube video so that you're ready. And at the first sign of being irritated by something today, even if you're suppressing it, I want you to find a little bit of time, listen to the gamma brainwave, music, and let yourself entrain to it, and see for yourself if things start to shift, if you start to flip a different switch, if your brain starts to work at a different level. Okay? Cool. So, if you haven't already, I want you to join the Healthy Mindsets for Coping with Narcissists. Look it up on Facebook. Join the group if you've already joined. I want you to invite other people to join, because that's how we make the change. It's not about spending all of this time in anger and resentment and feeling controlled and feeling overwhelmed. It's about being the light that you're supposed to be, so that you can help kind of lead the charge for how we're changing the world into a kinder, more compassionate, and more loving place. Okay, cool. So I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. And I'm looking forward to seeing you again tomorrow morning. Talk to you later.